You know, the scary thing about having a home like this is eventually I'm going to get it to the point where I don't want to leave. How's that for weird? I should be doing this. I haven't been. Um, everybody else is in quarantine. I live on 40 acres, so I sold the other part. But so I'm on 40 acres, and my nearest neighbor I can't even see. They're over there somewhere, and there's a couple of them off yonder. And they're yeah. I mean, you can see them, but you can't see people. You can see the tops of the roofs, kind of thing. It's basically we're quarantined. That's just my day to day life. I don't do this. This is not different than normal. Well, I don't know. I don't really know what normal is anymore. Yeah. The irony is, I quit my job at the Sam's Club at about the perfect time, right? Say, man, did that get perfect? Oh man, I would not want to be those guys. They'd be getting hammered right now. I get messages sometimes. We want to come with you. Okay, lights are always on. Come on out. But keep your distance. This is great. Projects. I'm just knocking off a bunch of stuff that's I've got whiteboards all over the walls that it's just projects to do. Right. So yesterday, for instance, I started building grow beds for the garden. All right. And yeah, I could probably just grow things in the ground, right? Last year I did grow a few potatoes. It was just a few. I had 6 plants that grew. Um, Maybe they didn't all grow. I started with 6 hills, and then I had a couple more hills, and they didn't go at all. But I think I got something. But it was like a few plants that grew. I dug them out 2 or 3 days. Just little tiny potatoes. Like, I think all of the potatoes I would have fit in this little 2 cup container kind of thing. But the ground was so hard they couldn't grow, but the tops grew like crazy. Okay, so that kind of got me excited. I mean, I'm not really excited about gardening, but okay. Anyway, so I bought a bunch of garden soil, which doesn't even look like dirt. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but I figured, all right, I'll mix that with some of the sand from here and lay a layer of gravel underneath that for drainage and put that in the boxes. Okay. I'm building towards a greenhouse system. And so I'm trying to stay one step ahead of this. And this is the funniest thing is I keep building things, and then a day or two after I build it, I look at it, I'm like, oh, well, okay. I could have done it different if I would have been thinking further ahead, and I never have a full plan. That leads me to what I call the camper shed. So I had the truck camper version 3, the white one that was on the back of the truck a couple of years back. All right. Took that off because I didn't like it. It was heavy, which wasn't a big deal on the truck, but it really blocked my visibility. And so this last year when I was working at Sam's, I had the new camper that I built, and I made that specifically so that I could see out when I was driving. That's why it was so weird looking. Okay. So the camper, the white one, when I stopped using it, I built a box on the ground that matched the dimensions of the truck box. And then I slid the white camper onto that box, and that was my bedroom for that winter. Because it was easier to stay warm in that than it was in the bus because the bus was not insulated. Okay. It was okay. And then by spring, I'd moved the bed back into the house or into the bus. And the next winter, I built the tent over the bed, and that's how I slept the next winter. Okay. So then I used what was the camper for a storage shed. And then I thought it was in the way, so I moved it to the opposite side of the bus, and then a little while later is when I decided to build the house, and the camper shed was exactly in the way of where the house was going to be. Yeah, it's like I'm never quite far enough ahead, but I keep changing my mind, and I keep adapting what I'm doing. You know, there's things that I'm doing that I had never envisioned. I never planned on putting a house where the house is. That I thought was just open space, you know. And then one day I thought, like, I should just put the house there and put it right next to the bus, because I decided it made sense to keep the bus as storage and possibly another office space, right? So where I'm at now is where my big honking desk is, and the laptop and all the computer monitors, and I got the windows on this side, so we got nice natural lighting in here and everything. So the whole house only got 2 windows in there right here. You know, everything else is kind of dark. But I spend most of my time here. Well, a little while ago, I happened to go over to the bus for something, because I store some things over there, and I just sat down in the driver's seat, which is where my computer used to be, right in front of all the windows, the windshield. And I'm like, oh my God. I just sat there for half an hour and looked out the windows, because here the windows are too high. I didn't really appreciate the fact that from sitting in my chair, I can see out, but I can't see down. So I was missing seeing the bunnies all the time. I wasn't sure if they were still here, you know. I sat in the bus for 5 minutes and saw 2 bunnies. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're still here. I just can't see them because I can't get up high enough to look down. I can see the bushes, but I can't see the ground. Just a weird thing. So, yeah, that was that. So one of the things on the project list is I'm going to redo the desk in the bus. I'm going to have some stuff over here and then take one laptop to the bus. So I'll kind of split up my tasks. So like when I'm doing video, that'll be over here. When I'm doing writing, I think I'll do that in the bus. And so eventually I'm going to work myself into a place where I can spend time. A few hours a day will be writing. A few hours will be doing video. Right now I'm just, you know, every time I get a project, I hit that hard for a couple days. Video editing has fallen by the wayside because I'm shooting so much video I don't have time to do it, to edit it and upload it. So I'm about a month and a half behind on projects that are finished or are well into it, and I've got all the video, but I haven't had time to edit it because by the time evening comes, I'm too tired. You know, I sit down in front of the laptop and I fall asleep sometimes. It's pretty awesome. You know, I'm getting a lot done. Anyway, so one of the projects that I'm just getting my head around is where should I put the grow beds? You know, so yesterday I built 6 grow beds. They're 2 feet by 4 feet. Okay. And so the idea is I made them such that they could be moved because I move things quite often as I learn or just as I adapt the design. I'm like, well, this would be better in a different place. So I made them as modular boxes so I could pick them up and move them. Now they're going to be pretty heavy when they're loaded, so I might have to make a cart so I could roll them around. I think that would still be possible though if I could slide an axle, because I've got the Harbor Freight tires, so I could slide an axle underneath them and roll them around a little bit. I think that would work. Okay, so we'll look at that. Well, suddenly I was looking at the truck. I got the truck tank sitting out in the open because I had a lot of rain a couple weeks ago, I guess now. I had a lot of rain. So I just dragged the truck tank out, put it on the ground, pumped all the trash cans into the truck tank because they were kind of dirty and I wanted to clean the water, chlorinate it, filter it or something before I put it into the big tank because the big tank is basically clean right now. Okay. So I've got the great big tank, 1,500 gallons. I've got the IBC, which is 275 gallons, something like that. They're both on the manifold, so I can open a valve and choose which tank I use. Which is great because if I end up with water that's kind of not good looking, I don't want to drink it, right? And I'm starting to drink water from the tap. I still run it through a Brita filter, but I got tap water that I can, you know, just open the tap and water comes out. So we're almost getting there. That's another project that you haven't seen yet. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I got this truck tank. It's 210 gallons sitting on the ground, which is, you know, short term, that's fine. But I wanted to keep it out of the sun. More because I just didn't want it to get sun damaged, because anything plastic out here eventually will just disintegrate. It's a real thing. So I was kind of looking at that, and I'm like, okay, so I got the camper shell and the box that it's sitting on. Right now, I've got lumber in there because I bought a bunch of OSB and some studs, and because the truck tank was sitting on the ground, I'm like, I'll just put the lumber in there. It's 8 feet long. It's perfect. Just in case it rains, I got, a few sheets of OSB sitting in there. It made sense at that time. So now I'm looking. It's like, okay, so I made the planting boxes, and I'm not ready to build a greenhouse yet, and I don't really need a greenhouse now because it's April. It's 60 degrees right now inside, and it's relatively warm outside. I don't think we're going to get any more freezes, so I don't need the greenhouse now. But if I can build my garden into an area that could become a greenhouse for the winter, I think I could grow something almost year-round if I could keep it a little bit warmer. Okay. So the greenhouse, you can make a solar heated greenhouse. Here, I probably could grow lettuce in the winter. Maybe. Try it out. We'll see. I also have some chicken wire, which I bought for a different project, but I've got a bunch of it left. So I could fence around it just to keep the rabbits from eating all the lettuce. I think I will probably plant extra outside so they can have some, and then I get some. Share. All right. Well, I started looking at various things, and I'm like, I built a big wooden box around the 1,500-gallon tank to keep it out of the sun. So now the algae shouldn't grow. Okay. You'll be seeing a video on that pretty soon. I also built a box around the IBC, but that's smaller. But I was just looking at it, and I'm like, well, that's an 8-foot by 8-foot box on the big tank, and it's about 6 feet high or so. That could be one wall of my greenhouse, right? I'm like, wow, I had not thought of that when I built the box, and that was only a couple of weeks ago, right? So I'm like, okay, so now I got a nice solid 8-foot box there. That's one wall of the greenhouse, because your north wall, you don't need a window, because the sun doesn't come in that side, right? So then I'm like, okay, so I'll probably want a windbreak on each end, just to slow the wind down that blows through all the time. Okay. So I may build half a wall, maybe 4 feet high, something like that, on east and west end. But then the east end will be where the door comes in. So then I can maybe don't even do chicken wire, because I don't think the rabbits can get over a 3 or 4 foot wall. So okay, we'll look at that. One idea for the greenhouse, I saw somebody else do this, where they dug down. So the greenhouse is half, well, they didn't dig it all the way down. But if you dig lower, you're surrounded by the earth, and that'll help keep the plants warmer. The sun shines down, it heats up all of that hole, and that keeps things warm. And it gets you lower out of the wind. Okay. So I'm kind of toying with that. So I'm playing around with, I've already made the boxes, and I hadn't planned a specific place to put them. I just made them a common size so I can stack them different ways. So I'm like, all right, so if I have the boxes, maybe when I dig down a little bit, I can berm around the boxes, and then I'll just put the fence around that. So I'm kind of playing with that, but it was just like, okay, the box around the water tank is one wall. Boom, that's done. So I'll just put everything next to it. Then I was looking at the truck tank, and I'm like, well, I could hook that to the manifold, and then that's 200 gallons that I can share between tanks. That could also become the main water tank for the greenhouse. That would make sense. You got it already, Plus I've got trash cans that have hose fittings on them. When it rains, they automatically fill up and equalize so one doesn't overflow. So I was like, well, I could put one of those in the greenhouse and hook it up to that rainwater system, and so when it rains, that would automatically fill up the one for the greenhouse. Okay. Right. And then the camper automatically fits over the water tank, the little water tank, the truck tank. Right? And the box that I made, if I made that separate, that could be part of what I need for the walls for the greenhouse. It's already done. I'm like, none of that was planned. But I just keep making these things, and then you look at it, and it's like, okay, I have moved that truck camper from the south side of the bus, where it was the bedroom. So it was on the truck, then it became the bedroom. Then it became storage. Then it was in the way. So I moved it to the north side of the bus. Then I decided to put the house there, so that was in the way again. So now I'm going to move it to where it is now. So that's the third time. And now it's going to get moved over by the water tank. That's the fourth time. And I'm like, wow, I need to make a cart for that so I can roll it around easier. So that's probably the next project, is to make a cart that I can roll that thing around easier. Yeah, so that's my quarantine. Anyway, I'm going to try to get this uploaded. There's a lot of stuff going on here that you're not seeing, so just be assured that I am doing stuff. Things are happening. So I built... you guys barely have seen the water tank itself. That was one of the last projects that I uploaded, I think. Now there's a box built around it to keep it in the dark so that the algae doesn't grow. And the box around the IBC tank is done. I'm working some projects in the shop. I'm doing like tool organization once in a while. I figure out how to store some handfuls of tools on the wall, that kind of stuff. I've got a cell phone booster that was donated by Houston Firefox. It's very cool. It works amazingly well for what it is. I'm just so far from the tower. It's kind of, it's wonderful and annoying at the same time, I guess is the way to say it. So when I'm uploading a video, I still can't upload from here. So that doesn't do me any good for that. I am finding, though, that I can get emails easier now. And I'm able to download videos, but I can't upload videos. I'm like, how is that possible? Anyway, so that's one of the reasons a lot of things aren't getting uploaded, because to upload, I have to drive still. So what I'm thinking is once a week or so, I'll drive into Sierra Blanca. I'll get to the post office, check my mail so the box doesn't explode. And when I do that is when I upload the videos. So this will go up then. Yeah. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. There will be stuff happening. I'll do more videos that are not just me sitting here talking, because that's not very exciting. But yeah, maybe I'll tack on a real quick segment of what it looks like outside right now, because it's things are different. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Alright, up there in the corner is the WeBoost cell phone booster that Houston Firefox donated. Thank you very much. There's part of it, and there's wires. Alright, so that's there. I will do a full video on that. What I did is I ran the wire through some black pipe all the way out to here. And through testing, the best I can find, get a shot of the front of it. That's what it looks like. It's a very gray day today. Far, far away on that mountain, I think, is where the tower is. There's like a telescope observatory up there. I think there's also a cell phone tower on that hill. That's got to be 15 miles away. It's a long ways away. Anyway, I think that's where it is. Because I'd sit there with the antenna and sweep it back and forth, and that seemed to be the best signal. All right, so that's that. Other things that have happened, I talked about I'm also watering the bees. I've made this whole bee water park. They seem to enjoy it. On a hot day, they are just swarming over here. Put the washcloths in because the bees can suck the water out of the washcloth without drowning. If they hit the water, they just die. They don't swim very long. Yeah, how about that? All right. So I've upgraded. All of the trash cans now are interconnected with 1-inch flex pipe. And what I do is you get a bulkhead fitting, put it into the trash can, drill a hole, a little bit of sealant, and then you got a fitting that you can hook up your flex pipes to. All right, those are all hose clamped together. So when the rain comes in, quite often sideways rain here doesn't fill the trash cans evenly. So this one would overflow and the one on the opposite side would be empty. So by interconnecting them, like for instance, this one is on the system, but it doesn't have a downspout. So it will fill up with those to keep them from filling up so fast, okay? And then I mentioned the truck tank. This holds about 210 gallons. So I put it on the ground again and pumped water from the trash cans to here. All of the trash cans together equal about 200 gallons, roughly. So I could empty everything into here. And I haven't tested this part of it yet because this wasn't done then. But the 1-inch pipe flows faster than the garden hose did. So I hope to be able to put a pump in one of these and pump into here. And all of the other ones will equalize over time. And I'm thinking it'll keep up to the pump. So I should be able to basically drain all the trash cans at one time without moving the pump. Because you start dragging, 100 feet of garden hose and extension cords, and if you have to go from one barrel to the next, there's 7 right now. It's just annoying, and if it's a slow rain that lasts all day, which is what happened, I guess it was in March, I had like 2 days where it just rained just a little bit all day long, and 3 or 4 times I came out and drained the trash cans because they were getting full, right? So that's that. All right, next project, we'll be doing build videos on this. These are the grow beds. And this was something I think I just figured out this morning even. These probably will go next to that. That's where the 1,500 gallon tank is. And that's the IBC. And these new panels here you haven't seen yet. Those are also donated by Houston Firefox. Thank you very much. They are working awesomely. But I still also have the Harbor Freight panel, so I've got 2 separate charge controllers going into the same battery bank. That seems to work pretty well. No problems there yet. Anyway, so grow beds, where to put them? I had thought about, a long time ago, putting my greenhouse in this area somewhere, right? And I kind of aligned everything in the same direction because, well, north is that way, or about there. The bus aims due east. It's within a few degrees. And I can tell that at equinox which way the shadow or the sunrise comes, right? If you're right on, it should go right down the middle of the bus. It's close. Not quite Mayan perfect, but close. Okay. So all of the panels are facing south. So I thought it would make sense if I also had a greenhouse over here that faced all the windows to the south. That was just my idea, okay? That could still happen, but what I was just realizing, if the truck tank is out anyway, I've got this, which is now full of lumber and remesh and chicken wire, but I made a special trip into town just to buy a bunch of lumber so I could work projects because it looked like things were going to get locked down, so I thought, well, I might be out here for a while, and I'm not working, so why not spend a little bit of money, have some wood to finish up some projects, and so that's how I did all that. So what I'm thinking, water tank
for the greenhouse. I've got this manifold system that has risers everywhere like this. This was made so that I could put tanks on each riser. That's how I plumbed the big tank and the IBC. They're all hooked up to the same system, okay? So I was like, well, okay, if I move the truck tank... Oh, there's a bunny over by the truck. Morning, bunny. Practically pets that I don't have to feed. It's pretty cool. I do give them water, though. So, truck tank, maybe we put it off of this. There's another pipe underneath there. So we put it in this area somewhere. There's a valve here. Oh, I made valve boxes, too. This is something I wanted to do for a long time. Now the valves are protected. So there's a valve here. Didn't make a box because I wasn't thinking of using it right away. So I just buried it. Okay, truck tank could go here. I've got this nice 8-foot long wall. It's 4 feet plus at least a foot, so maybe 5 feet tall. Okay, that's the back wall of my greenhouse. Just happened, like that'll work, you know. And it's aligned in the same direction as everything else. Okay, so 6 boxes, 2 feet by 4 feet. Okay, so I was playing around with numbers. I'm like, well, if I arranged them, I could make a 10-foot wall and then a short wall and a 10-foot wall. Well, this is 8 feet, so that's pretty close. Okay, so maybe we just extend it one way or the other a little bit. Okay. For now, I'm not going to enclose it anyway. So I'll just take out a few more bushes here. Put my grow beds in here. Bring the truck tank over here, so I've got a local water reservoir that I can just put, like, if I pull rainwater off the roof that's not really clean, I'll put it in that tank, not for drinking, just for the plants. That'll be fine, right? Yeah, so lay the boxes out, truck tank here, top half goes over the truck tank on the ground to protect it, bottom half, and this was an idea from before, I took the truck bed liner out of the truck. I never really liked it. Okay, I'm like, you know, that would make a really good grow bed, right? Just fill it full of dirt. It would be raised, and the idea of a raised bed is you don't have to spend all your time on your knees, you know, weeding or whatever you do with gardens. I'm not really a gardener. But the truck camper was made to fit on the truck. The bottom half was made to be about the same size as the truck bed. Therefore, the truck bed liner probably will fit in that box. Close enough. So if I put a bunch of gravel in the bottom for drainage, and then put a 6-inch layer of dirt for gardening on top of that, that should work. Okay, so there's my next monster-sized grow bed. Or I might put these in that and then berm around the outside to help hold the heat in. Haven't quite decided. I'm working on that. But that's kind of the direction it's going. Yeah. So that'll probably end up here. Which means I'll get to move that one more time. Yeah. Can't win. But that's all right. Gives me stuff to do. This is one of those fun things. You just look. These are everywhere. Over here, the little purple ones have been growing for a while, and some yellow ones. It's like this is the desert. I've got the rabbits, I've got coyotes, I've got a lot of birds. They're all very quiet at the moment, but in the morning you just hear them all chirping away outside. Little, I don't know, songbirds. I don't know anything about birds. It's lush out here, you know. So with just a little bit of work, I shouldn't have any trouble growing things out here, because things do grow out here. There's enough rain if you can catch it. And I don't honestly understand. Almost none of my neighbors have rain gutters. It just blows my mind. you know. I canceled my water account. I'm no longer hauling water from town. Because, well, when I bought the tank, it's 1,500 gallons. I went 5 trips to town, brought 200 gallons with that. So I put 1,000 gallons in this one, and then I canceled my water account. Because I'm like, I'm going to get enough rain in monsoon to keep things filled. And I can live a long time off of 1,000 gallons, plus 275, plus about 200. I think I can make it between rains. That's the plan. But I'm like, why does nobody else have rain gutters? You know? I don't know. Catch a lot of rain off of that. Okay, that's where we're at. I think that kind of catches you up on the bigger stuff. The rest I'll be doing videos about. But you get the idea. Lots is getting done. Sorry I haven't been doing a lot of uploads lately. Alright, stay tuned. More to come. Bye for now.